Welcome, everyone, to Wind, Reel, and Print. My name is Kevin.
And my name is Ryan.
And we are happy to introduce another fun little episode, another 4-quadrant, focusing on the kind of golden age Hollywood genre of Screwball comedy.
Yeah. And question, just right before we jump in.
Yeah.
Are there other kinds of Screwball, or are they all comedies?
I think it's just Screwball comedy.
That's what I thought. Okay. It is a comedy genre.
Yeah. Exactly.
Nice. And let the people know what's the quad?
Oh,
what do we got?
So we have a quadrant of 4 films from 3 great directors, kind of classic Hollywood directors. It Happened One Night by Frank Capra, 1934. Trouble in Paradise by Ernst Lubitsch in 1932. Bringing Up Baby, Howard Hawks in 1938. And then also Howard Hawks' His Girl Friday in 1940.
We get to see in just that collection the growth and of this genre.
Yes.
And also just seeing, I mean, this is like a genre that really uses sound, I think. It's really taking advantage of that, having really fast talking characters that you just wouldn't. Some of these things just couldn't really be done in a silent movie scenario. I mean, I could see how you could. I've never seen this. I don't know if it was actually funny back then, but I could imagine you could do like a really fast
split screen.
Not a split screen, but like a title card or whatever it is that shows text, and it's got like too much text for you to read, and then it goes away really fast.
Quickly.
Yeah. But I don't know if they ever did that. I think part of me feels like the media, that was just like too important to the medium to joke with. Like, I think the audience would have been like, what?
That would have been funny though.
I know, that's kind of interesting. That's a way to play with the genre in a modern perspective. But yeah, no, this is I'm happy you put this on our list of things. I'd never seen any Howard Hawks before.
Nice.
And now I'm in love.
Yeah. He's great.
I thought Bringing Up Baby and His Girl Friday were great. And I will just say, all of these, this is just a great genre. Yeah. This genre for me,
it's so charming.
Yeah, it fits my MO pretty well.
Yeah. Proto mumblecore.
Yeah, definitely proto mumblecore. You said something crazy, even that it's like, what was your thought with film noir?
Oh yeah, I always equate this and film noir because they're around the same time and they're basically the same movie. Like if you think about it, it's like a couple, they're talking a lot, talking over each other, and there's some sort of mystery or they're trying to solve something. But it is just like one's a drama and one's a comedy. It feels like. Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
Because we did a noir episode. And a lot of, Billy Wilder obviously could do a screwball or a noir. And I feel like a lot of his films are both. Yeah. Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Because even looking at these, some of these could easily be a noir film if they were just darker and more serious.
You turn up the contrast, less laughs.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you're getting like, imagine Bringing Up Baby.
Right.
As a film noir with like the jaguar or leopard or whatever is like
evil.
Killing.
Yeah. His Girl Friday feels very noir to me.
Totally. I mean, Trouble in Paradise.
Yeah, for sure.
That's extremely noir.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, because now we're dealing with like criminal elements.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to say before we jump into It Happened One Night?
Yeah, just kind of giving some historical context, I guess. Great Depression is obviously a part of this. I feel like escapism, Yeah. And also class. There's like certain class maybe stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I mean, in It Happened One Night, I mean, you definitely feel that. And it does feel like a look. It's just an amazing thing that we still have It Happen One Night. And even in the quality, I was able to watch in a very high fidelity. And it's amazing that we still have that. And it's just such a great look at that time period. And I think unintentionally, they were just it was just people traveling around.
Right.
But damn, it just, the Great Depression era look at America.
Right.
It's amazing.
It's a very specific thing because they're thinking about like your whole life is thought about differently because of this thing impacting every little thing of your life.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like that's an important thing, a lens to view a lot of these movies from, because Wiki says like escapist themes, battle of the sexes, disguise and masquerade, like these sorts of themes and topics that are coming into these movies and stuff.
It makes sense.
Not the first one chronologically, but it happened one night.
You're right. Do you want to do Trouble in Paradise first?
I guess we can. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I don't know why. Like it felt like It Happened One Night was more the first, but if Trouble in Paradise, that is interesting. I guess that one is technically.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess a lot of people do credit like It Happened One Night as first.
I know. Yeah.
Screwball, right?
Yeah. I mean, I get it. Like Trouble in Paradise feels a little more proto.
Yeah.
Like M to film noir.
Right.
This feels like it to Screwball. It definitely has like those elements to it for sure.
Yeah. I mean, okay. So there's other examples that are from like 1928, 1931, like before Trouble in Paradise, from Frank Capra and other directors. But definitely these two are the first, like, I would say big hits, like the big names that you remember and stuff.
Yeah. Obviously It Happened One Night being one of 3 movies that has won all the big 7 or big 5 or whatever it is awards at the Oscars, along with Silence of the Lambs and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yep.
I think it was also the first ever Best Picture winner.
Could possibly,
yeah, because I think the Oscars had just started when It Happened One Night came out.
Makes sense.
And so this is also legendary in that way too. And
maybe that's why it gets highlighted.
Yeah,
as like the first, because it has that legacy.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah. It started this kind of this modern understanding that we still hold.
Film is important.
Yeah, that stuff, film is this sort of this thing that deserves awards.
Yeah,
you know. Because I wonder, like, before that, how many people really thought. I mean, for a while, film was just like it was the seedy entertainment, and then it started to kind of build up into something else. But how long did that last? Obviously, the 30s are when the golden age, and into the 40s, it's where it's really hopping for films.
I mean, I guess this is part of making that tradition.
Yeah. This needed to. The Oscars needed to, I think, and to be able to paint movies in this really glossy. And I guess theaters in general just looked a lot nicer back then, and they, very
because they were probably in a theater.
Yeah,
not like a movie theater.
Yeah, not like what we know, the dark, the carpeted, they
had
slimy
nice Victorian design or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll just do It Happened One Night, huh? We'll talk about that a little bit.
Sure, yeah, we can start with that. It seems most important.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know,
It Happened One Night was so interesting. The way it was shot was so different than all of the others.
Yeah.
A lot more moving cinematography. A lot of... Obviously, this one took place in the real world. Like they were actually on location at a lot of places, which all of the other ones are very set pieces and set driven and everything like that. So this, like, watching this, it just felt so different than it just felt like a totally different movie in its kind of composition to me. The other ones were just a lot more controlled, and this just felt so much more real. And I think also with it being in this interesting time period, in this kind of interesting painting of America at the time, I was just kind of like floored by its presentation. Obviously Clark Gable, classic Clark Gable, and especially also classic Clark Gable is misogynistic Clark Gable. You get like a lot of
Gone with the Wind.
Yeah, a lot of the way people thought about women at the time. Buses are very important. There's a lot of bus stuff. You get to see Frank Capra sing on the bus, which was cool.
Nice.
And yeah, also an interesting commentary on wealth and all of those things. It was very funny how, like, at the beginning, she escapes her very rich father, and she literally jumps off the boat to swim away because they're like on a yacht or something like that. And then it just cuts to she has escaped. Like, there's no way this frail young woman would have been able to swim so far and not get caught. Like, it was just so silly. It felt very cartoon, like, bloop, I'm gone. I don't know. It was something that just
limitations of filmmaking.
Oh yeah, it was just like, oh, we got to get her out of here. It was like, let's get to the movie already.
Yeah.
But yeah, also, I think something else to say about Screwball, and you get it here, is like rom-coms come from this genre. This definitely feels like a big, and movies, and I think that's also just what feels so good. I think like in modern times, it just feels like rom-coms have kind of like lost their sheen a bit. And so it was really nice to watch this and be like, oh, reminded of like how you can really make it fun, and to build the tropes that we would come to know.
Yeah, definitely building tropes is good. I feel like it definitely establishes like the types of characters that exist in like this genre.
Yeah,
I kind of just summarized it as like saving face and falling in place. Like people a lot. I find a lot of people like lying about what they're doing or what they're trying to go for in order to like appear more like higher status or less, or like just better or smarter or something. Like, I think a great example of this is like the phone call gag, where they're on the phone with someone and someone else is in the room with them listening, and then at some point the conversation is not like equal between like what they're hearing and what is actually going on. Like, either the person hangs up and they're still talking to appear like they're getting the upper hand or whatever. I feel like you see that at certain points in like a lot of these movies, but I definitely remember it in this one. Like the class thing is huge, I think, in this, like you mentioned before. But yeah, I definitely was like, I don't know.
It was a lot of hijinks, and for whatever reason, like wealthy people, they come with a lot of hijinks.
They can just have some fun.
Yeah, exactly. There's something about, and maybe that's also like the spectacle of it, like especially for people in the Depression era, seeing that,
like just having fun,
like and to also see like a window into like the wealthy was also like a very interesting, escapist thing that was just like appealing to people,
like Severance.
I've never seen Severance.
Or Succession.
I've seen Succession.
Yeah,
definitely watching that.
Yeah.
You get a view into a world I would never, ever. That just sounds awful.
Yeah, exactly.
But
yeah, it was cool. It was cute. I feel like out of the four, my least favorite.
Interesting. Yeah.
Guy just didn't rile me up, you know?
Yeah.
Because I think when you get into Howard Hawks, he really knows how to like amp up character and like add that into the storyline, I feel like. Or at least Bringing Up Baby is just so fucking chaotic. And even his, like, I really enjoyed, okay, we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
I enjoyed like His Girl Friday a lot more this time around. Yeah.
Just to talk about It Happened One Night a little bit more, a road movie. And I think it's one of the first instances of a road movie.
Yeah, a lot of cars. Model T. Action.
And going all over the place, and that just shows the staying power of that genre.
Sure, yeah.
And how that is a classic movie trope.
Right.
And a great way to keep the story moving, have that kind of ticking clock, to have a bunch of locations.
Right.
I feel like in terms of filmmaking form,
right,
that genre and style fits really well.
I mean, and even just the idea of using a car in film, like in general, I feel like that has to be new, right? Because when our cars being invented,
in the 1800s, and it starts to get much more ubiquitous,
right,
coming up
into society and stuff. And then the idea of like being able to take your camera out and shooting it like that too. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they were able, like, this movie is shot on locations.
Yeah.
And like, just like, that is such a crazy thought.
Right.
Is that they're able to lug this giant thing.
And that's probably part of the appeal of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is like a real life. Yeah. Like you said.
Totally. That's a really good point.
You know?
Is like being able to see kind of like the actual
world and stuff,
is pretty extraordinary.
It's not just like a Nickelodeon, like novelty, like escapist thing. Like this is now people doing a thing, you know? But yeah.
Yeah.
And they're talking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And talking, then that kind of back and forth also feels like it's finding its footing and is just as valuable as action. You know, you can use that and even more valuable than, because before it was like very like much more theater style, a lot of like hands being thrown in the air and all of these, like you had to really emote to keep it interesting. The words do a lot of it now.
Right.
And I think the genre,
one-liners and everything.
Yeah, I think this is the genre that really takes advantage of that, and film noir will do that as well. But yeah, no, just cool to kind of see this in the grand scheme of
everything,
of film history, and still very classic. Frank Capra would go on to make many more classic films and
many more
on Channel 4. I've only ever seen his. I've only ever seen It's a Wonderful Life. I have not seen Mr. Smith Goes to Washington or Arsenic and Old Lace. I do want to watch that. I'm just. I'm into.
Doesn't seem like my cup of tea.
What? Which one?
Capra.
Oh yeah. I mean, it is a different style. Is there something that you can say is like what doesn't jive with the Kevin sensibility? I
don't know exactly,
sometimes
but
it's hard to put it to words.
I feel like he's too sentimental. I don't know. I won't say it.
Okay. You're not going to offend anyone.
I don't know if I have
but
an
if you don't know,
yet.
if you don't have an opinion, that is what it is.
I just feel so much strongly about Howard Hawks.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. I feel like he's just more, like when I look at his filmography, I'm like, yeah, he made movies. Like these are movies that like people still talk about.
Yeah.
Like all the way down and stuff. I don't know. And he really could do any genre, and multiple decades, independent, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's so interesting because I would think Frank Capra was more like classic. Like I think Frank Capra is more classic than Howard Hawks.
Interesting.
Just because I think that,
like in the grand conversation.
Yeah, definitely. Because I'd never even heard of Howard Hawks, if you can believe that.
Really?
And, I'd never.
What?
I'd never heard of any of those movies before.
What?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? And so I am putting a little bit of myself into this, but at least for the longest time.
Never heard of Rio Bravo?
Not Rio Bravo, but Scarface definitely.
Red River?
Nope, never heard of that.
Have or have not?
Nope, never.
Gentlemen Prefer Blondes?
No. Hatari? What the hell is that? It's East Africa. Oh, and starring John Wayne. You know that's going to be
crazy,
tough to watch. Yeah. But now, I mean, I'm a Howard Hawks head. I love me some Hawks.
Oh, yeah.
Hawks too, yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you got
Spit
it.
on that thing.
You got it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess Frank Capra is more classic in that sense.
Yeah.
Just like makes classic movies.
Yeah, movies that I feel like are still a part of this thing. But, I mean, I'm not trying to take away from anything. These two guys that are... Dead. Long dead.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah, but... and, I mean, there's still so many I have to see of both of their...
works.
Yeah, both of their works. I've actually I've seen equal amount of work from each of them. I've only seen 2 movies of each of them, so... But yeah, so It Happened One Night. Anything more you want to add before we jump over?
No.
Okay, Trouble in Paradise. I'm running Kevin away.
I have nothing to say about that movie. I can't really remember it. And
which one? It Happened One Night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember that ending scene when they're in the motel.
Yeah.
That's all I remember.
Yeah.
And I keep thinking of this other movie, the one where they become a ghost, or she becomes a ghost or something. Yeah.
Just Like Heaven.
Yeah. No, there's this Cary Grant movie that's kind of like Just Like Heaven.
Oh, interesting.
But not really. But there's a ghost in it. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. A classic movie Ghost.
Die in a car crash as well, I guess. Yeah.
That's a classic American way to die.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
See, there's definitely like some sort of commentary on like Americanism and then car culture and then how it's being presented in films, you know what I mean? I feel like there's some interesting thing there.
I think that car culture and movie culture are hitting at the same time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That it would be very important. And Bringing Up Baby, you'll get a lot of fun little car gags as well.
True.
Which I think all the way up to like, I was seeing things in it like that were just like Talladega Nights.
Oh,
I mean, that just shows like how ubiquitous
these things are.
That what Bringing Up Baby was doing.
Right.
I mean, I'm thinking of like the mountain. Have you seen Talladega Nights?
Vaguely.
Yeah, there's a cougar basically, and the idea was like Ricky Bobby. If you can ride with a cougar in the back seat, then you could do anything, basically, sort of thing. And that was very similar. There was a lot of similar scenes and shots to Bringing Up Baby because there's is it a leopard or a jaguar? Do you know off the top of your head?
I think it's a leopard.
Okay, you think?
I think.
You think?
But not often.
You think? Yeah, it doesn't say, at least on the thing, on the letterbox. But let's go to the movie we're actually here to talk about, which is Trouble in Paradise. Ernst Lubitsch, who I also did not know
Don't know Ernst Lubitsch?
No.
The Lubitsch Touch?
The Lubitsch Touch. I bought that lotion before.
That's real?
No.
Oh, God.
No, it's not. But I would buy something called the Lubitsch Touch.
Sounds crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So obviously a very early director.
Yeah. And I think he's like
it all.
one of the guys who comes from Europe during that time period.
Yep. Makes sense. German filmmaker.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of know him. He's kind of, or Billy Wilder always quotes him, like in terms of Lubitsch Touch, like this kind of screenwriting concept that he kind of devises in a lot of his movies, mostly about like visuality and then like keeping the audience informed or whatever. Or I'm not explaining it that well.
Yeah.
I'm losing myself.
Lose yourself in the movement, the moment you want it.
Yeah.
Eminem a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Bringing it back. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't know much about Ernst.
Yeah, he's the guy.
So I'll have to check out some of his other stuff. But this one, yeah, obviously very pre-code. And the code, if I remember correctly, had been implemented at this point, but wasn't really enforced, and it wasn't not too much was going on with it at this era. Because I think it actually like was even started in like 1928 as like there was some form of it. And Trouble in Paradise was able to have, these dark characters and to be able to have like much more sensual scenes, and with characters that are not married and everything like that. And so you get into a pre-code situation here. And so I think it makes for really good. I think those are like the rarities and the interesting ones to go back to are those pre-code era films, what they were able to do and how they did it. And then you get into like the rest of these films, and they're very like code oriented. And when we end up doing the Golden Age episode, definitely very the code is what is the box they all have to work within. But yeah, so what did you?
That's a good perspective.
Yeah, what'd you think of Trouble in Paradise?
Yeah, I just like the way they leverage the use of acting or the use of like, what's it called? Like deception, you know, because it is like they're two criminals and they're trying to steal something or whatever, right?
Yes. I mean, it's very Parasite.
I forget. Yeah.
Yeah, it ends up kind of
Parasite.
being... Yeah, Parasite is very much like this film where it's basically about a guy infiltrating a rich person's life.
Right.
And then bringing his actual girlfriend or whatever they are into the mix too. And then it becomes a little bit like he ends up falling for the woman that against his better judgment.
Right.
And yeah, no, I thought that was also great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's super funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved the premise. It was a great premise, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Go for it.
And then just like certain scenes where they're like lying to each other or they pickpocketed off of each other and stuff like that. Just like really funny and clever. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so funny because it just felt like it, in some ways the humor didn't match like the shot composition,
right?
You know, and I think it's just like they're figuring all this out still, like as it's going. Yeah, exactly. Because it was just like it's just so interesting. It was like it just felt like a film from another era, and a lot of like jokes that I'm like, I have no idea what that's supposed to mean. I wish I could remember, but there were some that I was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But I always love ending up in a film and being like, all right, I gotta have to reverse engineer. I know what a joke's supposed to hit. Like movies are very clear about it usually.
Sure.
And then it's just like, okay, I got to figure that one out.
Like something's happening
there.
Yeah,
but definitely the like pickpocketing each other was a lot of fun. I thought they made a good pair, those two.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out a way to explain Lubitsch touch. It's like not very easily described.
Yeah, I'll have to do some research, dive into the touch.
Yeah. Because it is a lot of using like the visuals to set up the joke and to pay off the gag. And so something about like by doing that, you're allowing the audience to kind of like play into the joke as well because they know.
Yeah.
Them knowing is the joke, you know what I mean? Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah, like, the characters on screen aren't laughing.
Right.
But the audience is because they got it. Like, right. Or at least it was all presented in front of them. Yeah,
exactly.
They're not laughing with the protagonist. Right. They're laughing at the situation or... Yeah.
And so he'll use like props and stuff to do that a lot of the times. I think an example was like the king is leaving his bedroom, walks past the guard by the door, and then like forgets his sword, so walks back in, gets his sword, and it doesn't fit his thing because it's like the guard. All right, yeah, you see like the guard sneak into the bedroom at some point. Yeah, I said that out of order. A better example is the mirror in the apartment, the pocket mirror. When he opens it and he's like, he realizes that it was her mirror that he gave to Mr. Sheldrake. Yeah. And it's all in the silence of his reaction to him realizing and us knowing that he's, you know, that is like the Lubitsch touch where it's like you're able to move kind of narrative and play a joke without like saying anything basically. Yeah.
I like it.
And I feel like you get a lot of that in this film of just like there's like visual gags that are happening with along with what they're saying and stuff like that.
Yes. Yeah, fun. It also had a very what was it? Not Intolerance. What was the Alfred Hitchcock we did for the film noir?
Notorious.
Notorious. I don't know why. There was something about it. Maybe it was just even the way it was shot or whatever, or where the location. But I just got very like Notorious vibes from it.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I liked it a lot. It was
It's fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, very interesting. In terms of like screwball qualities, just
Yeah.
a lot of back and forth.
Battle of the sexes.
Yeah.
The normal tropes.
Yeah, and then bringing into it once again the class element of it, as a space for shenanigans, hijinks,
Right. Yeah.
which you gotta love.
And I think it's fun too because it's the criminal aspect of it, or them role playing. I think adds like a layer to their characters and stuff.
Yeah,
That like the other films don't have access to. I feel like.
yeah. To speak on something I care a lot about, I don't know how well preserved this film has been. Even the Criterion collection version of it is only 720p, or it's only DVD level quality.
Yeah.
And even what I was able to find wasn't too hot either. So I'm just like, oh man, I would love to watch this in like
They probably
crystal
don't
clear.
have like a 4K. Of
Yeah.
It's not like a big.
I know. I feel like people like have never heard of it or anything. Yeah. So hopefully we get something cool of this. I would love to see it in glorious high definition.
Wes Anderson cites it as an inspiration for Grand Budapest Hotel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's there.
it's there. I mean, you could say like there's so many Wes Anderson.
He's probably sourcing from everything.
Everything. Yeah. You can make a lot of connections.
Yeah.
That's a guy that I feel like has a lot of really great
Movie knowledge.
yeah, and filmmaking techniques that he's pulled from the past and everything like that. Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Totally.
Let's
Totes my goats.
You want to hawk it up?
hawk?
Yeah. Oh man, that's got to be it's already dated as we're recording this. It's going to be so dated.
She's canceled, I think.
I mean, yeah, at the time of recording, sure. But she's now vice president
Oh yeah.
by the time we've released this.
Oh gosh.
Sorry about that. I voted for her.
Yeah. Did you? Do you vote for vice presidents?
Oh yeah. Yo, you don't get that extra piece of paper?
I didn't get that one. That was a bonus sheet. The secret menu.
Well, back in the day, vice presidents were the runner-ups,
Right.
which is an interesting
That
thought
is
experiment.
insane.
Yeah. Well, back when America
Was
where we cared about each, and it
when
was
it was
about
great.
Yeah, when it was great. Let's talk about bringing up baby. I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, Gone with the Wind's next.
Yeah. Howard Hawks coming in hot in the year 1938 with some dinosaur bone humor.
Yeah.
We get a lot of that.
some archaeologists.
You don't get to see paleontologist.
Or yeah.
Yeah. And I actually don't even know if he's a paleontologist, but he is at least involved in the museum.
He is a paleontologist.
Oh, he is? Well, there you
Yeah.
go. That's what I wanted to be, folks.
Yeah. This is
was my
about
goal.
Ryan's life.
Yeah. All the shenanigans I got into.
Yeah.
It was so much. It was so fun. So
With your leopard named Baby.
yeah, I had no idea what this movie was going to be about, which I think was really fun going into it and being like,
Yeah.
wow, the
What
title
the
is literally about the leopard, and they are bringing it around wherever they're going, and they're chasing after it, and all these things. That ends up kind of being the whole direction of the story and the purpose that we got these characters stuck together. Is they gotta find this damn leopard that got out. What are we gonna do?
It is just such an odd, like, there's, like, what is this?
Yeah,
It's such an odd, like, predicament. Yeah, I guess it is a predicament. Just like, what the heck? Who even thinks of this kind of story? Anyways, yeah.
yeah,
Such a weird combination of elements.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and love me some Cary Grant. I'm happy to see Cary Grant and Katherine Hepburn in her classic Katherine Hepburn style,
Yeah.
bringing in that transatlantic accent at full speed.
This movie was a box office bomb upon release, and Katherine Hepburn was labeled as a box office poison. So a lot of these things that you just said were not common knowledge at the time the movie was made.
Makes sense. Because she was, I'd be curious how much she had done prior to that. Obviously, like the big thing she would end up doing did come after.
Yeah. And that's when her career took off.
Yeah. When was Adam's Rib? 1949. Wow. Holy moly. Yeah, this was 10 years before that. Jeez.
Did Little Women.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, all of her big work is after this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, this is also Cary Grant in a very fun role.
Yeah.
Too.
This
very
is what
goofy
I know him
and weird.
for, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, for the fun and weird.
Yeah.
And stuff like this and the other movie.
Yeah, he's so good at so many different things. Yeah, I really love all the different genres he dips into the Hitchcockian world as well.
This is one of my favorite movies of all time.
So this is a movie that speaks to Kevin.
Yeah, this is
Kevin.
This is one of the ones.
Okay, so you say something like that.
Yeah.
Let me know because I want to know more about what's the Kevin.
Yeah.
What's the Kevin thing? So tell me what's the Kevin thing?
Yeah, I guess that'll be interesting figuring out what that is.
Because it also like don't even have to come up with. I'm just curious, especially just with this one.
Right. This one specifically. Yeah. I definitely like the reaction to it, I guess. I guess that's what always brings me to it is like when I show this movie to other people. Mm-hmm. It's just like a great movie to like put on, with anyone. Because I think out of all of these movies, this is like the easiest to like get caught up in, just because it's so weird and she's kind of infuriating. Mm-hmm. Katherine Hepburn's character, like, because I think you kind of take the position of Cary Grant when you're watching it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Katherine Hepburn's insane.
She's off her shit.
Yeah,
and I think it's just. Even for today, it's like, whoa, what is happening?
Yeah,
this person is a kook.
Yeah, absolutely insane.
And I think it's easy to get carried away in that, and I think that's awesome. Pun not intended. And yeah, I think just the writing, the characters, the gags, like the special effects with the leopard, like cutting them into shots and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was very interesting. You can definitely see the
line.
Yeah, what is possible with films at the time.
Yeah.
Like you see the effects, which is, but it must have just blown people's minds.
Right.
Another one of these movies that, man, I wish I was there.
Yeah.
Oh,
to
man.
hear people like go crazy, but that's probably why it bombed at the box office, because it's like, how do you really relate? This isn't even a story. It's just like people going wild.
Insane.
Like the jail scene where they're just like, you're not her niece. Her niece is in bed.
Yeah.
And then the aunt shows up. You're not the aunt. I just spoke to her on the phone. It just like gets increasingly more absurd. It's like, that's great.
Yeah.
Like Cat in the Hat level, like stacking, of just like what is going on, of just everything going crazy and haywire. And
this definitely has a Cat in the Hat feel to it for sure.
Just the energy and the characters and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't always that way, but like over time, the more I rewatch it and return to it, bring other people along for the ride, it's always like, oh, this is like one of the best, I think. Yeah. Like one of the greats.
It's great.
Transcends its time period. Like
still funny.
Everything. So I just hold it up there because it's freaking awesome.
Yeah. I second all of those things. It is so good and so strange and still funny.
Yeah.
Still just completely rings true, which I think is just an amazing testament to the directing, the acting, the everything.
And I think too, more so than the other films, it kind of, you forget about the like patriarchalness of the time period with this film.
So true.
It just feels like people like doing things and going around, and she's so like not a controlled woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's very liberated and like I can say and do whatever I want.
Yeah.
And kind of no like consequences whatsoever.
Yeah, maybe that's why it also feels it can feel modern even today because it does not, we've moved past that. Right. And it does not feel, you just don't hit those societal walls in this one. Like, oh, God, that again.
Right.
Yeah.
Like those little hiccups.
A good point.
Yeah. And that was a thought that came to me right now. So
nice. That's what it's about. You just got to talk your way through it.
Yeah.
Eventually something poops out.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just so great. And, doing all the screwball things, too. Like all those, like the class and the battle of the sexes and doing all those things, but just being a great movie on top of that as well, which I think is what Howard Hawks is going to deliver.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of funny shenanigans.
Yeah.
So good.
Like you can really go there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the last thing that I feel like I can add is just thinking about that set. The set with the trees in the forest where they're all kind of like running through.
Right.
It was so funny. It was so just like classic of the time. I don't know. Sometimes I get hung up on these sets because I love them. And I just love that old set quality. And when we do talk about Wizard of Oz, that's a big thing for me when we do get to that episode.
Yeah. That's a great set movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But this one, it just like... all you have to do is change where the camera is on this big set, and all of a sudden they're in another part, and I'm just like, oh, we saw that tree already. Right. But it's just something, I just love seeing actors on these big, giant stages that are supposed to look like a real forest. I was just like, oh, I love it. And then they fall down a hill, and it's just like a spongy material that they can't get hurt on.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my God, this is so great. Yeah, that sort of thing. I love seeing the old filmmaking, like how they used to do it, come through, the effects come through, that sort of thing. I love that.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's part of the charm.
Yeah. I think that's what it is. It's like the charm. It's like, damn, they put in so much work to do these sorts of things.
Right.
So it's not shitting on them at all.
Right. It's applauding them for like being able, because like a lot of times I don't even notice these things. Yeah. Because they're doing all those other things great. Yeah.
And the quality still, like in presentation, I don't think was that good either. You know?
Yeah. Another kind of weird blurry-ish thing.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like no one really thought they would have to care that much about it. And now here we are with 4K restorations of everything. And now it's like, oh my God, you can see the tape. You can see the C-stand. You can see all these things.
You can see the makeup on her face.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That was a big one.
Yeah.
For
sure. Yeah. And obviously, I guess all of these movies are in black and white. And so it's interesting that we're still like color's just about to come onto the scene in a big way.
Right.
But it's funny not to have color with these. I think color, they feel colorful.
You're right.
Even without it, which is just kind of an interesting quality.
Yeah. I don't think of color in that way.
Yeah.
Or I don't like color. I think all movies should be black and white.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. That's really cool.
I feel like, it's part of, I have a whole thing, but I don't know if it's...
That'll be great to put on one of our film talk episodes.
Sure, yeah.
For
Good
sure,
idea.
because I'm definitely interested, because I don't feel that way, but that's what this is all about. I wanna peek inside the curtain.
Yeah.
See what's up.
It's very hyper specific and not applicable to all movies, but I generally feel that like most movies would be better if they were all black and white.
Yeah, it's interesting.
For another day.
Yeah. You got me really thinking. Well, nice.
But yeah, it is interesting because I guess we'll talk about this more with Golden Age, obviously with Wizard of Oz and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is interesting to think of film as this was all that there, like color wasn't possible.
Yeah.
To think, I don't know. To isolate Yeah,
and it also just like it wasn't a creative choice to not use color. I think that if color was available, they probably would have used color in most of these cases, because that's not it just wasn't available.
Right. I mean, you look at film now, it's like most films are color.
Yeah, exactly. Like it was the trend that was eventually going to happen.
Right.
For sure.
And people just want that level of realism when they see these things, I feel like.
Yeah, I guess nowadays, it definitely pulls you out when you see black and white. But I think that's a tool now.
I think that would be my argument for why you want black and white, is because you kind of want some distance. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyways, Brecht. Yeah.
We need a sound effect whenever you say Brecht. Brecht. Yeah. Word of the day again.
Yeah.
Brecht. Would you believe it? Kevin said Brecht again?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I just feel like it applies to a lot of these things.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I think that it actually is a ubiquitous concept that we're able to pull in everything.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I got a few of those in my back pocket.
Oh, yeah. Kuleshov effect.
Yeah. Okay. We'll get into that. I got some thoughts on our experimental animation episode.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's really the only way to even talk about one of those things, is like frame to frame.
Like how they piece it together.
Yeah, exactly. Well, right on. Let's jump over to the final one. His Girl Friday.
Yes. Not to be confused with Thank God It's
His Girl
Friday.
That's the sequel. Thank God It's
Friday.
Thank
God It's His Girl Friday.
Yeah. HGF, not TJIF.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were saying out the gate, and I think this would be a good place to start. You have a better feeling about this film than you did. Like, let's start there. Like, what did you get on this viewing?
Yeah, I guess I just had let go of a lot of, like, I think I got on the first viewing, I got caught up with the patriarchy kind of stuff, like the whole you don't need to get married, or the marriage versus job, I think is such a big conversation in this film, or that's like a center point of like what's working here. Mm-hmm. And I feel like to go through that and then choose marriage at the end just felt like a weird thing to do, but obviously of the time, and they're gonna do that, and I feel like I would just let go of that when I watched it this time and like just enjoyed it. And like they're just great. Both their characters are awesome, and just everything that we said about bringing up Baby, I think you have that in here, like things just going like in directions you wouldn't really expect, like hiding the guy in the desk, like the levels this movie kind of goes to is like kind of awesome. And, I was cackling, I was laughing.
Oh, it's still just like bringing up Baby, still funny.
It's so funny. Yeah. So I definitely on this watch like give it a lot more credit and stuff. Yeah, it was a lot of. It was also cool to see like another change of professions and things like that. And I think that was cool about both the Howard Hawks, is they felt so different, right?
And they went into like totally different industries and styles,
right? Yeah, from
like a paleontologist sort of like museum rich style thing to now like a journalism thing,
right?
And like to take a totally different angle, and to also bring Cary Grant along to kind of do
his thing.
Yeah, his thing. And now he's in a very different role than he was before.
A little bit more of a sleaze.
Yeah. And there is just like
maybe a lot more.
It is, because then he is successful in bringing her back into the sleaze again. And there's that
roping her in.
Great scene of them just back and forth, like diving into
what happened and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And just like,
or how to get the information.
Yeah, exactly. Like he was right about her all along.
Right.
That she needs this and is addicted to it just like he is. And it's like she's the best at it and she can't deny it.
Right.
Which is always a great story device as well.
Right. Yeah.
Doing everything she can to try to get out of it. And it's just like, okay, I'll do one favor. I'll do one little thing, and there's just like one more and one more and one more. And Cary Grant knows it from the
whole
start.
time.
He is not going to let her go.
Yeah.
He knows exactly the buttons to press to keep her around, and it works.
And to like give a little bit of line and then take a little bit back.
Just enough. Yeah, knows exactly when to let her figure it out.
Right.
Which is just such a, I mean, to even be able to talk about a movie from what year was
1940.
this? 1940 in this way.
Yeah.
And just, oh my God, I
Brilliant.
just love it. Yeah, it really was. It's absolutely holds up.
Like the character, understanding character and story, and yeah. This is so good. And then, because like going back to the things, saving faces and falling in place, like this movie, the way it ends, it kind of shows that to me of like how lies and deception and sometimes just luck and like mistakes can get you out of a bind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because literally getting, I forget, the police or someone to carry the desk out of the building for him.
Yeah.
It's just like, of course, it's just going to work out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also great, that whole sequence of just like comedic gold of everyone bouncing off of each other.
Yeah.
So many different parties like showing up and new things are happening all the time. And so many great gags.
Yeah. The one-liners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's fun. It's got the energy. Rosalind Russell, I think that's her name. Yep, she was fantastic in it.
She's brilliant.
Yeah. And yeah, no, it felt good. Obviously, a movie we watched recently that has like similar elements with Sweet Smell of Success.
Yeah.
Like you definitely get a little bit of
journalist.
what's kind of going on there and what it takes. But
Noir, Screwball.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's interesting. Obviously, Howard Hawks, at least on these two, wasn't going too crazy with the camera.
Yeah.
Like he's
keeping it pretty simple.
He's keeping it pretty simple, pretty stock. And you can just see how, like, I think that ends up being a film noir staple is
design.
Yeah, is design and getting into it and having to kind of switch it up and be a lot more stylized.
For sure.
To kind of just see how this could very easily, this one, I guess Trouble in Paradise would be the other one. Maybe that's even more. But yeah, this one easily, you could turn it up to something. Yeah.
Yeah, there's this great film from 2019 called Straight Up.
Oh yeah, you watched it fairly recently? Or,
yeah, I might have watched it this month.
Yeah. That's not saying much, folks.
Kevin I might watch it again because it's so good. Just maybe I watched it because of this. But I think when you on the note of visual design, I think that movie is doing the Screwball movie or the Screwball tropes with like a reverence for like cinematography and composition and stuff. So I feel like
irreverence or with reverence?
With reverence,
got it.
Like it's a great modern Screwball like rendition or revival, I guess.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Or just like how much this genre has to grow, you know? Like, because I guess you do get rom-coms. It's such an insult to me. I guess it is a rom-com like proto thing, but I feel like they're just so different, like the genres.
Oh, Screwball and rom-com?
Just from like a production standpoint, I don't know. It's weird to me to like say rom-com.
Is it because you think rom-com
golden age Hollywood, pre-code Hollywood?
Is rom-com to you like a derogative term?
Yeah, maybe that's part of it.
Yeah,
because rom-com implies.
I mean, certainly there are some bad rom-coms, and nowadays it is cheap. It's cheap slop.
That's what I guess I kind of think of when people say rom-com is like that kind of hallmarky or like cheap slop, so to speak.
Yeah.
Where it's like, man, that's not what Screwball is.
No.
I guess they're taking the parts, but it's like, it's like saying, I don't know.
They take the fun out of it, I think. And though rom-coms usually are just like people talking to each other in scenes.
Right.
And it's just like there's nothing, and not even interesting dialogue.
Yeah, there's no good quips anymore.
Yeah.
And I guess the nature of comedy is different because of like Will Ferrell and Adam McKay and what's his name?
Judd Apatow?
Judd Apatow. Because now things are more improvised and things are more like quippy. They're no longer like scripted or these sorts of like character build stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's kind of my hypothesis.
That's an interesting one, yeah.
As to maybe why it's not the same or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, certainly, yeah, there have been evolutions of different comedic
things.
Yeah.
In between those.
Different directions to take it.
Right.
And you even get Rob Reiner like kind of and what's the writer of When Harry Met Sally? What's her name? Starts with an L.
Nora Ephron.
Oh yeah, Nora Ephron. Yeah. Yep. She was like kind of like set this kind of new wave of rom-com identity.
You've Got Mail.
Yep. And so that's an interesting thing to think of, like how things have changed. How they switched up every time.
Yeah.
And this is just so far back, but it's still, I mean, talk about echoes of this through all of film time. We're going to be on 100 years of this genre in no time.
Right.
Maybe already. There probably are some proto screwballs that were coming out in the 1920s, early 1920s. But
how though?
Like you're talking about without
sound. Yeah.
I mean, I guess I don't know enough about, because you could say Charlie Chaplin and some of those
Screwball.
things. There is like slapstick can be like Screwball. And it's obviously different and it doesn't pull all the things, but I think you needed kind of slapstick
to get to
Screwball. And I mean, obviously we're at 2020, hindsight's 2020, and you can, like, who knows actually if that's true, but certainly,
I could see it though.
Yeah.
Just in terms of comedy, the development of comedy.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, I think that they didn't do a good enough job of like having a good pair. And obviously that's kind of what makes a screwball is like that pair.
In this movie?
No, I'm talking about in Slapstick.
Oh, yeah.
Like a Charlie Chaplin movie, it's usually just Charlie Chaplin who's doing the things. He doesn't really have a sidekick or anything.
Right.
But you could see, man, if he had figured that out, like a Charlie Chaplin screwball would be a lot of fun. That would have been really fun back then. And I think could have been done in an interesting way. Albeit very different. And even Buster Keaton, I think that would have been an interesting one too. Yeah. But they were too early.
I know.
They needed to be their own stars and their own thing to kind of set. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Charlie Chaplin for sure.
Yeah.
Was like very into himself.
I mean, I guess it makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, to be that guy, to be Charlie Chaplin.
Motherfucking Chaplin.
Yeah. Like that's hard to beat.
Yeah.
For sure.
Bay Area legend.
Yeah. Always got to rep his time in Fremont.
Yeah.
Yep.
In Niles Canyon, baby.
Niles Canyon, baby. Yeah. Well, right on.
Yeah.
Screwball comedies. A blast. Yeah. Go in.
What's your impression?
I mean, I love it. I think that it's just stumbling on a genre I really didn't know anything about.
Yeah. And
loving it. I love good rom-coms, romantic comedies. And this you can just see where it all comes from, and I really liked it. What's up?
Yeah.
What do you see?
Other genres, Screwball is associated, slapstick.
Yeah.
Farce.
Yeah.
Situational comedy.
Yeah.
So sitcoms.
Yeah, definitely.
Are like Screwball.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Yeah, you need that. I mean, Screwball is life. Okay? Screwball is life. Yeah. Like, let's be real. It's life.
If life was like Screwball, life would be better.
Yeah. Let's get some more Screwball. I'm excited for when we do another Screwball episode, because we're starting to stumble into doubling up some episodes, and I can't wait to do some more of the genre, or maybe even see like what the next evolution of it ends up being.
My big question is like, okay, we know what this is. Like, what happens? Like, what makes, from a like industry pressures standpoint, what makes the end of Screwball.
Yeah.
Like, did we go into a different genre of comedy? Did we like not think these characters were interesting anymore? You know what I mean? I'm just curious, like, how this develops, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think Katherine Hepburn, like Greta Gerwig with Mumblecore, I think Katherine Hepburn is Screwball.
Sure, yeah.
Like, she just feels like she fits the genre so perfectly
Yeah.
that you get into Adam's Rib coming out 10 years later, just about. And that's a classic, I think. I would probably consider that a Screwball comedy. Her and what's Spencer Tracy?
Not here.
Oh, interesting. But definitely fits a lot of the same tropes that we've kind of talked about, but maybe it's not.
Yeah, I feel like maybe to some extent it just gets folded into Hollywood, like the Hollywood picture. Mm-hmm. The idea of like man-woman kind of dynamic with the comedy stuff, just the dialogue.
Now it's just a
texture within blockbusters and stuff, you know.
Here's an example. Pop music is everything.
Yeah, it just like takes in the trend and that becomes like part of the thing.
Yeah. You can have a country singer that's making pop music.
Right.
That sort of thing. Like
right.
it eventually folds into the consciousness.
Yeah.
And that's definitely probably almost certainly what happens with this, because it was just too good to.
Right.
I mean, it's just perfect.
Because you can look at like Casablanca or, you know, Wizard of Oz, or those aren't maybe good examples, but like movies from the 40s and 50s that like, oh, this could be like Screwball if it was made in the 30s. But because we have like 2 decades of filmmaking experience and knowledge, and things are bigger and, you know,
much
more
bigger,
colorful and stuff, it's like, oh, we have more that we have to say than just these things, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a limitations thing, you know?
Yeah.
Because to some degree, this feels like indie cinema.
Yeah.
You know, simple characters, simple sets, not super fantastical, even though it is a level of escapism.
Yeah. I mean, Bring It Baby definitely feels like it upped the production quality.
Sure.
Like, out of all of these, that production quality just seems like so much higher.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, like
the fucking dinosaur gag.
Yeah, exactly. Just that gag is insane. And then to have like they really, and it's crazy that it busted.
Right.
But that one just felt like, all right, let's put the pieces together.
Right.
Of like,
and like make a movie.
Yeah, and let's make a movie. I like that. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like, generally speaking, yeah, they are. Let's put it all away and let's make it fun.
Right.
Use dialogue as action.
Right.
Simple gags.
Right.
A lot of visual stuff.
And just like characters.
Yeah.
Being funny.
Yeah. Good writing. Very good writing. I think that is a must when it comes, and that's what you don't get in rom-coms usually nowadays.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so that it can't even stand.
Right. And I guess that's where I allude to with the improvisational stuff. Like, we don't get writing in comedy anymore.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of stuff is just like, on the day they're improving for camera or whatever. Yeah. Because even Nora Ephron is like known as a writer. Yeah. You know, she's like considered top 5, top 10 writers of all time. Yeah. You know, so that's a huge part of her rom-com stuff.
And it makes, I think that's where rom-coms need to go.
Better writing. Better writing. But also, I guess, in today's market, there's no space for rom-coms anymore because those movies got kind of X'd out. That like price range or that budget range. Yeah. Of the $20 to $50 million movie. Like, people don't make that anymore. So you get any mid-tier genre just gets like kind of booted from the consciousness. And so now we get No Hard Feelings.
What's No Hard Feelings?
The Sydney Sweeney, Glenn Powell.
Oh, yeah.
Rom-com revival.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
I didn't watch it.
I mean, you could get like some of that from Hitman.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Glenn Powell is
well, someone said that was Screwball. Yeah,
you could, I see it, you know. I get it.
Yeah.
But then, it's interesting. I'm thinking about rom-coms I like.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Rom-coms, just like heaven. Just like heaven, Screwball.
Yeah, I see it. Sure. It's definitely screwy. Really strange.
Yeah. Okay. That's it.
That's Screwball, folks.
Yeah.
Once again, go watch it.
Go have some fun.
Yep. All right. Let me pull out the clapboard here. 1 second. All right. And that's a wrap.
Well, we would clap at the beginning, I think.
What do they? Fuck. What do they say on set?
Tail slate.
Tail slate. All right. Bye, folks. See you next time. Wind, Reel, and Print is a podcast by Salad Brain Productions. You can find us online on Instagram at Wind, Reel, and Print Pod. You can also find us wherever you get your podcasts. And please, if you like the show, leave a rating and review. We'll see you next time.